Happy Wednesday, everybody. Max here with your daily fix, and coming up, the long-rumored Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake is making some controversial choices, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is reversing some controversial choices, and a new leak points to a new Yakuza remake in the works, and if it's the one we think, it's not a controversial choice at all. Let's get into it. Fans are already up in arms at reports that Ubisoft's long-rumored upcoming remake of Assassin's Creed Black Flag will cut some content from the original version, specifically the portions of the game that take place in present day. The news comes by way of French outlet Jeux Video, which claims that all the sequences of the game that put open-world high-seas swashbuckling action on hold in favor of exploring the Abstergo offices have been removed in favor of, well, more open-world high-seas swashbuckling action. Allegedly, the remake, which is rumored for a 2026 release, would balance this out by adding new content that focuses on pirate assassin protagonist Edward Kenway, as well as some cut story content following his cohort Mary Read. For a lot of players, more time spent doing assassin stuff in a historical setting is preferable to rooting around in a modern-day office uncovering conspiracies and whatnot, but the present-day stuff was integral to the earlier AC games, so some longtime fans are less thrilled about this revelation. On Reddit, user HaveWeLost6388 wrote, "I hope it's not true that they removed the modern day sections. Without the modern day storyline and ancient alien sci-fi stuff, modern AC games are just Witcher 3 clones with stealth mechanics." User Zero Zalath echoed the sentiment, saying, "It's honestly one of my favorite parts, and that stems from the earlier games. I was actually looking forward to it in Shadows after how Valhalla ended, but then Shadows had literally nothing. It was such a big disappointment on that front. Like, genuinely, the modern day stuff is part of how the franchise works, so it should always be present in some form and be telling an overarching story." It's likely one major reason Shadows dropped the present day stuff despite Valhalla's ending is that based on achievement data, only about 25% of players actually saw that ending. Whatever Valhalla's main storyline was setting up in regards to the present day meta-narrative, there's only a 1 in 4 chance that you actually saw it firsthand. Considering there was a 4.5-year break between Valhalla and Shadows, odds are even slimmer that it was fresh in your mind when you loaded up this year's installment. Assassin's Creed games used to be a lot shorter and they used to come out a lot faster, so it was easier to tell that overarching story, but the new games seem to be selling just fine in spite of this, maybe better than ever, so it's not hard to see why Ubisoft might want to leave that element behind. In any case, take all this with a grain of salt because Ubisoft hasn't even officially announced the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake, so it's a tad premature to be getting all frustrated about what is or isn't actually in it. But that said, where do you land on this? Do you like Assassin's Creed when it's a story within a story with dense meta lore, or do you just like to run around in different time periods, jumping off of tall things into haystacks and stabbing famous historical figures in the neck? Let me know in the comments below. No wrong answers. Moving on, some good news for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines fans. The developer has decided to reverse its decision to paywall 2 of its clans as Day 1 DLC. If you haven't been keeping track, there was some major fan outcry following the news that players could only access the La Sombra and Toreador clans by purchasing additional DLC at launch or paying extra for the premium edition of the game. The clans in Vampire the Masquerade play a key role in the gameplay and the lore. Which clan players choose will affect their characters' in-game abilities, as well as how they engage with the game's NPCs and story, and considering there's lots of politics and intrigue, that's kind of a big deal. Considering that Bloodlines 2 ships with 6 clans at launch, and 2 of them were originally paywalled, you can see why this might have rubbed some players the wrong way. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 was originally slated for a 2020 release, but underwent some serious development troubles, nearly getting scrapped before getting taken over by developer The Chinese Room. Thankfully, the wait is almost over. It hits Xbox Series, PS5, and PC on October 21st, now with 33% more playable clans for free. Yet another Yakuza remake may be in the works, according to a mention on the RGG Studio's website. A Japanese listing, which was promptly deleted, but not before people could take screenshots, makes mention of a 3rd entry in the series of Yakuza remakes. Fans are speculating that we might be getting a modern redo of 2009's 3rd mainline installment in the form of Yakuza Kiwami 3. Kiwami, if you're unfamiliar, is Japanese for extreme. Yakuza Kiwami and Yakuza Kiwami 2 remade the first 2 PlayStation 2 era entries in the series using a new engine, majorly overhauling the gameplay. Back in 2020, Yakuza 3 was included in the remastered collection alongside 4 and 5, but those were basically just HD ports with no major gameplay improvements. As anybody who's tried to play through the Yakuza series in order this decade can attest, Yakuza 3 is rough. It's got a great story involving Kiryu running an orphanage and also wearing a Hawaiian shirt, but in terms of combat, it's a slog, especially if you jump into it right after playing Yakuza Kiwami 2, which is excellent. I bounced off a 3 super hard about halfway through it, and it kept me from starting 4 and 5, which I know are all-time bangers, so I'm hoping this Kiwami 3 rumor proves true because I'd like to take another crack at it. The good news is that an announcement might be right around the corner. RGG Studios is holding an event on September 24th that will likely shed some light on what they are cooking up next. That about does it for this edition of The Fix. While I've got you, a quick update from our friends at Humble Games. Lost Skies just got its full 1.0 release available now on the Humble store and on Steam. Lost Skies is a cooperative survival adventure set high above the clouds in a vast world of floating islands. Explore the remnants of ancient civilizations, uncover the mysteries of their downfall, and harness their advanced technology to survive and thrive. Build and customize your own skyship to serve as both your home and warship, battle colossal skyborne threats, and weather dangerous storms. With seamless traversal using climbing, gliding, and a physics-based grappling hook, every landmark on the horizon is within reach as you shape your own survival story. Lost Skies is out now with a 25% launch discount on the Humble store, and Humble Choice subscribers can save up to an additional 20% off the launch discount. Head over to humble.com to find out more. That is all from me, but if you're looking for something else to watch that's also for me, check out my roundup of some of the biggest games still on the way in 2025. There are quite a few big ones coming out very soon. As always, for everything gaming, make sure you are following and subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch. I'll see you next time. Have a great Wednesday, was it? I'll see you around.